Hey Leos, and welcome to your February 2018 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys another amazing reading for your month ahead. And we have a lot going on for sure. As a lot of you know, I am a Leo rising, so I'm right here with you guys as we sort of go through this very beguiling period of our lives, this very kind of difficult to interpret time, as we have so many wonderful highs as well as a few lows, but also many cycles that are concluding, having gone many times, that we no longer need, that we no longer want, and we're kind of here coming into February, seeing basically everything that we've done and everything that we've pushed through thus far, and sort of coming to terms with whether we want these cycles to continue or not. February is a really, really major month for Leo. Look at all of this major arcana: the Chariot, Judgment, the Devil, the Sun, the Hierophant, all upright too. So any of the really strong struggles or really difficult patterns that have been emerging recently for Leo, I really do feel is going to get a major nice dose of benefic universal energy. You guys have been having so many reversals lately, and there are a few in this reading, but just to have that wonderful alignment, it's like a equal alignment with the two major arcana on the bottom on the left, two on the top in the right, and one in the middle. So it's like just this perfect sort of, I want to say, transitional type of energy, really an optimum experience of change and an optimum experience of being able to actually elicit positive, healthy change in your life. And that's been such a big theme for Leo, is change and transformation. But I think that over 2016 and 2017, Leo kind of forced it on themselves, or were forced into a lot of situations where change and transformation became inevitable and difficult and hard to really compound. And here we are in February, kind of like letting go of all of that, because we are moving into equinox time in March, which is much more of a New Year energy than January and February. So it's a really good time to be thinking about, okay, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to no longer carry with me right now? And how can I sort of figure that out, actually? Because sometimes we can come to think that the things that we need are unneeded and vice versa. So I feel like February, if anything, Leo, really provides you a very optimum universal experience of actually being able to discern in your life what is needed and what is not needed, and to really kind of be able to come back into contact with your purpose, which has been such a theme for everyone in February. I feel like everyone's kind of lost their purpose. I feel like people don't really know exactly what it is that they want to do. Most people are kind of successful in some way, but they're feeling like, well, why was it that and not what I really wanted? So really a nice bright energy coming in with the Sun and the Hierophant to highlight and illuminate and unlock what the purpose actually is, as well as the transformative and initiative type of energy of the Chariot and Judgment together. And the only thing preventing you from getting it is that sort of devil energy, being chained to the past, being chained to an experience of life, which is feeling like a negative cycle, or feeling like a reoccurring theme that doesn't really give you anything. So anything else for intuitive messages that I feel for February before I get into the week to week only really has to do with channeling energy, exercising, really cleansing the body, like maybe going to a sauna. You have Page of Wands, Five of Wands, Ace of Swords reversed. So to me that feels like too much fire energy, too much solar plexus energy. It feels like there might be a bit of stagnation, and through that you're kind of making your mind really foggy, or kind of not very awake because the energies are being channeled. It's like too much energy. It's sort of collapsing on itself. So anything that you can do to channel energy, working with your hands, exercising, something that gets your blood moving, I feel will be really helpful this month as well. So anyway, Leos, to get into the week to week, in the first week of February, you have Ace of Swords reversed, rooted down by the Chariot. So not really knowing how to proceed. And that's sort of an energy that everyone's coming out of in January. So try not to worry too much about it. Try to just allow stillness to come in if you can, and to not need any direction too much, because I feel like there's this feeling in Leo of knowing that there has to be some kind of action, or knowing that there has to be some kind of resolution to something, but it's like you're not sure how it comes about. It feels like situations which feel like they have no solution, or unsolvable problems, lack of formula. It feels like through what you gain throughout the rest of February, you understand how to sort of unlock this energy that is cropping up in the first week. And I feel like this is something that's been here for a long time. Like even honestly back since like Jupiter in Leo, which would have been like 2014 and 15. I feel like something is culminating from then, and you're sort of faced with it in a new way in the first week of February. And it can potentially feel very frustrating, because I've always seen like a reversed ace energy with the Chariot feels like not knowing how to begin, not knowing how to start the new chapter, because you have this really strong sort of instinctual soul shift to want forward action, forward momentum, but it's not really the most wonderful time of year for it. Like again, February is an ending time. It's Aquarius and Pisces time, so it's the end of the zodiac, and then once we get into Aries time, into late March is when really the great beginning comes through. So I feel like it's a matter of formulating the beginning, not so much necessarily having to have it right now, unless you already do have it, but try not to force beginnings or force new chapters open, forcing new relationships, new careers, new locations. Try to not force anything new unless it's just happening easily. It's one thing if it just happens easily and it's just part of your natural cycle as a person, but I just sense like a cold feet, or even this kind of strong frustration of not like doing something quick enough. It's like instant gratification definitely comes up in the first week. What do you need in your life to have instant gratification of? Where do you need your validation to come from? It's definitely, I think, sort of the bigger picture with Leo, because you're ruled by the sun, so validations, ego is always emphasized, I mean, with everybody, but it is a more solar type of ideal. So definitely reassess the ego in the first week, like what type of experience am I having with my ego, and what way is my gratification real, and in what way is it an ego interpreted part of my life? These seem like important things to be thinking about. Moving into the second week for Leos, you guys have that Five of Wands rooted down by Judgment. So really, really incredible energy coming in. This month is very important. This week is very important for your February for sure. It deals with the transformation, I feel, of anger response. What can make you angry, or what can make your blood boil, Leos? Definitely think about what is giving you that type of experience in this week. Where does it come from? Is it coming from people outside of you? Is it coming from within yourself? Do you find yourself getting like very angry or upset with no actual stimulus? Like if you're just laying in bed, do you all of a sudden want to be very angry or have some kind of extremely emotional reaction to something? There is a transformation of that coming in. I sense like more health as well, because the fives for me always deal with something not working very healthily or something very polarized within the body. So I'm sensing maybe you are seeing a naturopath, or you're seeing some kind of healthcare provider who can help to alleviate small things. Like I even feel like your diet or like your water intake might be really connected to the anger that you're feeling, or really connected to sort of an emotional instability that you might be experiencing. Leo is also a very competitive sign, such strong fixed fire energy. So if there's nothing that's very competitive in your life, sometimes your competitive spirit can bleed off into like your personal life or your relationships or your family or even your career. It's good for Leos to have careers where they can be a bit competitive, or where they can go the extra mile, because Leo is kind of an overachieving sign as well. So if you're trapped in some kind of situation or circumstance of life where it doesn't really matter if you overachieve, you get paid the same, or it doesn't really matter what kind of effort you're putting out, people see you the same, it is kind of a time to shift that. It is kind of a time to transform out of that, perhaps considering other career paths to start to pursue in March, or other career paths, or even sports, some kind of, even if this isn't so much a career thing and you're happy with your career, it's nice to maybe take on some kind of competitive sport or business of your own, something where you can really let your ability to overachieve get you something, because that's what I'm also sensing for Leo in February, is just this incredible injection of universal energy. You know, you can overachieve, and you can do things a lot better than other people, or create things or patents even that other people could only dream of creating. So if that energy doesn't get utilized at all, or if you can't at least plan it for the future, if you can't, it's like I sense this strong frustration or this anger that comes out in small or more microcosmic aspects of life. So definitely take the second week of February to be communicating with the universe and to be listening to signs or symbols about what you can do to make changes, healthy changes that definitely allow you to implement this overachieving ability, this ability to do things best, or with the power of the sun, you know, the power of a star. It is sort of like a fame inducing thing as well, or like prestige. as you move into the third week with the sun rooted down by the Page of Wands, it's like the sun to me is like a spotlight, especially when it comes up with Leo. So something in your life is being spotlighted and illuminated in the third week, coming out of that energy of the second week. And I feel like it's even something that's kind of like a fairy tale ending or something. It does feel like a closure to me coming in throughout all of February, but it feels like you can really end things positively here. And if you don't, if you try to continue things which you know will inevitably end, it feels a little bit destructive. But what can you highlight within yourself or within the world that is positive and works well for your favor? I feel like this incredible ability within you, Leo, to get beneath the surface or to illuminate things beneath the surface, like for those of you with Scorpio placements especially, or water placements in general. I do sense you, like with your significant other, really being able to see what they can't do well. And even seeing that in yourself as well, seeing that in everyone, but be careful with that. That really is kind of tying into that devil central theme that you have as well. It's sort of like a cycle of being able to see other people's shortcomings better than your own, which Leo is kind of blessed with this, and it's not always bad, you know, especially if that's like your career or your profession, like if you're in some kind of career of like renovations or in some kind of career, I don't know, of like cosmetic surgery where you can see the problem area and you can highlight it and you know exactly what it needs to be fixed. Try to channel this incredible ability on that versus like people's sensitivities or people's emotional complexes where they're aware of it, but it's like you can really highlight it and make it bigger than it even is and kind of fool them into thinking it's bigger than it is too. I feel like you definitely have to think like consciously about not doing that in a destructive way, but rather channeling it constructively, because with that type of energy, there's always kind of a limit. There's always kind of only so much you can do with it. And if you let that come out in people's emotional complexes, it's going to use up that energy, and basically you're not going to be able to use it so much for like your renovations or cosmetic surgeries or like a health in general. You know, you have like a blessing coming in, an incredible blessing of being able to see the problem area. So try to, as I'm saying, just construct that into something healing and something that is almost tangible as well. Because when I mention like surgeries or renovations, like those are like physical things where you can see a difference. When it gets into emotional territory, it's kind of hard because it's not a tangible thing, you know. It's kind of more dangerous territory because you never really know what effect it's going to have like elsewhere in the emotional complex, you know. And also for the third week of February, it's definitely a kind of coming of age energy as well. So I sense like promotions or almost being crowned something or gaining a new title. Page of Wands to me is kind of an aristocratic type of younger energy with the sun. So it's like that's being pulled out of you as well. You might be treated like royalty in the third week, or something to that extent. How can you kind of have a royal experience? It feels kind of important in February in some way. Like treat yourself like your own king or queen. Treat yourself like royalty, I feel, in the third week of February. And try to not worry too much about other people. If it becomes that sort of, okay, let me identify their shortcomings so I can like bring it out into the light and that'll definitely fix it, you know. Moving into the fourth week, Leos, the Hierophant rooted down by King of Pentacles reversed. So universal answers. The Hierophant has been an incredible card for me lately. I've really gained a new powerful relationship with it. Things which have felt previously inaccessible, things which have felt like blocked off to you, you are now in the fourth week of February being given a key to open up. It's not going to open magically, though. This is sort of the catch-22 that I've learned of the Hierophant. It's like with other types of energies, like Judgment, for example, like barriers can just dissolve and it just opens up to you. But with the Hierophant, you merely get the key to open it. You still have to put the key in the lock, turn the key, and open the door. And I think sometimes that's the frustration with the Hierophant, is it's like the door doesn't just open. You still have to have like action to put into it. You still have to be able to do the action versus, you know, having the universe completely do it. It's sort of like meeting the universe halfway, I feel, with the Hierophant. And sometimes, you know, you have to like, look, is this the key? And like you're in the dark, you know, you're trying to find your house key and you have like 20 keys on your keychain and you're like, oh my gosh, which one is it? I feel like that sometimes with the Hierophant, especially when it's reversed. But I'm just sensing that for Leos with the devil being your central theme. It's like, I know that I have the key, but I can't find it. It's dark, it's cold, and where's the right key? And I kind of sense you just like trying the wrong keys for a little while in the door that you're trying to get through. This door that I feel has been blocked off to you since about 2014 or 15. So you're going to do it. It's the Hierophant upright, but it feels like there's a masculine Earth, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo energy that is blocking this, or that could be this door. Perhaps you've had an experience with an earthy energy, or even this aspect of yourself, which is based in stability, based in security, based in material resource and trust, loyalty. It feels like the King of Pentacles energy is aiding in this lack of ability to open the door or to gain access to this new universal pathway or chapter. So I think in a way, Leo, you kind of need to leave it behind, or you kind of need to be able to turn the other way. And it may not be earth energy for everyone, but it's just saying to me that this is a person that is preventing you from opening the next door. Perhaps you feel like there's still a chance or still a possibility being with them or being consoled by them. And it's not that there isn't, that still can happen, but the problem is you can't rely on it. You can't rely on that to be your door to the next chapter. You have to create that yourself, and then it doesn't really matter whether you get that or not, you know. This is definitely pushing into this sort of Leo codependent cycle, which, I mean, hello, the devil is your central theme. How we get chained to people, how people's actions towards us, whether they be loving or not loving, how they kind of trap us and how they kind of prevent us, even if we have the key to opening the door to the next path. You know, it's just as easy, Leo, as breaking those chains. They're not that tough. They are very tough because it deals with our emotions and it deals with our emotional confines and our emotional connections. But it's merely that, you know. I feel like the worst case scenario right now for Leo is to be stagnant after February. Like, February, it's okay if that lasts, because again, that's happening in the 4th week of February. So try to not worry too much until we get into March, you know, about moving forward and having, again, that chariot type of experience of forward action, quick progress. But you will be having it, Leo, and you will need it soon. So try to not establish any obstacles, especially ones that aren't real, you know, that are emotional and open to sort of your emotional health. And that's sort of all about it as well, Leos. It's like your emotional health in general. Like, it has to kind of grow in February. Like supplements or massages, treating yourself nice, kind of treating yourself like royalty is part of that, and prioritizing yourself. It starts there, but then the next step of that is to then also be able to not need that thing from that person, that closure, that it's such a non-tangible thing that you're needing to. It's like you can't even touch it at all. But whatever that is for you, that's the next stage. And once you surpass that, once you give yourself the closure, you're going to break away from that codependent, shackled position that you've been in. And you're going to have an incredible quick progress, a move, a change in career, new aspiration, new relationships. What's preventing the new chapter from coming, Leo, is not being able to prioritize yourself in the right ways. Again, sometimes Leo can introduce a lot of addiction or a lot of unhealthy things and think that they're prioritizing themselves. Like, maybe you think, okay, I want to, you know, eat 5,000 calories a day because it makes me feel good, and that's prioritizing myself. Like, giving yourself the Saturn part of it too, like allowing yourself to be strict with yourself in a healthy, loving way, like giving yourself the healthy diet. That's really prioritizing yourself. Giving yourself the bank account, you know, like not spending all your money, like maybe think, okay, I'm going to go and spend all my paycheck on things that I've wanted for a really long time, and that's going to be me prioritizing myself, when in reality, maybe just having a little bit more security would be a higher evolved version of prioritizing yourself. So whatever's making you feel right, Leo. Again, also don't be frugal to a fault. Allow yourself to splurge on yourself sometimes as well, but it's about finding that balance and that integration. As the devil is always an integration, as it's taught us to integrate in an unhealthy way in the past, and now once it leaves, we feel that we can't live without it once it's gone. So establish your new integrations. An incredible new chapter is coming for you, Leos. Just do those 2 steps and prioritize yourself. Allow the transformations, and you will be beautiful. If you would like to book a private reading with me and get deeper into what your specific turmoil is that's holding you back, you can click the center of your screen right now. You can also check out the playlist of your sun, moon, rising sign. And as always, your subscribes, likes, and comments mean the world to me. They really do. I so appreciate it. And check the description box below to find my social media. And I'm also on Patreon if you want to get these readings early and ad-free. Much love, and I will be talking to you guys soon. Bye.